When it comes to artistic expression, some people paint with brushes, some with digital tools. And then there's Muse, who prefers human blood and body parts. Yeah, you heard that right. He's not your typical starving artist. He's a psychotic killer who turns his victims into art. Muse is a walking nightmare, a serial killer whose twisted creativity is as horrifying as it is fascinating. His obsession with creating true art led him to paint murals with human blood and sculpt his masterpieces from flesh and bone. And if that wasn't bad enough, this creep has superhuman abilities that make him practically invisible to Daredevil, the one guy who should be able to detect anything. Muse is a villain who doesn't just commit crimes, he curates them. And when Wilson Fisk gave up his kingpin title to become the mayor of New York, Muse stepped in as one of the city's most terrifying threats. So grab your paintbrushes, or maybe just a flashlight, because this is about to get dark. And let's dive into the horrifying world of Muse. Muse first blattered into the Marvel Universe in Daredevil 2015 issue number 10. His grand debut, a mural painted with the blood of 113 missing people. No, that's not a typo, 113 people. Blindspot, Daredevil's partner at the time, was the first to stumble upon Muse's gruesome masterpiece. But instead of hiding in the shadows like a typical serial killer, Muse introduced himself in Daredevil issue number 11. The dude really had no shame. What made Muse even more terrifying was his complete and utter belief in his work. He didn't see himself as a monster. He saw himself as a visionary, an artist pushing boundaries. His twisted philosophy, art is everywhere, even in death. And then there were his abilities. Muse wasn't just a lunatic with a paintbrush. He had superhuman agility, strength, and the ability to completely disappear from Daredevil's senses. That's right, the guy who can hear heartbeats and sense vibrations couldn't track Muse at all. To Daredevil, Muse was a black hole, a void where nothing existed. Armed with his powers, his twisted mind, and knives made from human bones, yes, he crafted his own weapons, Muse began his reign of terror. Daredevil first crossed paths with Muse while working for the New York District Attorney's office. When Muse's blood mural, appropriately named Sanguinity, was revealed to the public, the city was horrified. But instead of running away, Muse decided to step up his game. His next art exhibit involved killing multiple Inhumans and posing their corpses in everyday situations, like a grotesque wax museum from hell. When Daredevil and Blindspot started investigating, Muse decided to make things personal. First, he crushed Daredevil's billy club with his bare hands just to send a message. Then he set his sights on Blindspot, the young hero who had impressed him. Muse admired talent, and in his sick mind, Blindspot was a fellow artist. But admiration didn't mean mercy. Muse kidnapped Blindspot, gouged out his eyes, and left him to rot in his hideout. Daredevil, pushing his senses to their absolute limits, managed to track down Muse by following the one thing that stood out, a complete absence of sound. When he finally found Muse, the villain had one last twisted act of respect. Instead of fighting back, Muse broke his own fingers, a symbolic farewell to his artistic career. He was taken into custody by the Inhumans, and for a moment it seemed like his reign of terror was over. Spoiler, it wasn't. Muse didn't stay locked up for long. While he was recovering in an Inhuman prison, Wilson Fisk became the mayor of New York, cracking down on vigilantes and heroes alike. Daredevil, of course, didn't care. He kept fighting crime, which only inspired Muse even more. So naturally, Muse broke out of prison in Daredevil issue 596, but this time, instead of murdering random people, he switched up his style. He started painting murals of Daredevil and other heroes across the city. A weird shift, right? Well, don't be fooled, he was still killing people to make his art. When police officers caught him working on a mural of the Punisher, Muse slaughtered them on the spot and used their bodies to enhance the piece. But Muse had forgotten one thing. Blindspot wasn't dead. After his brutal attack, Blindspot had his vision restored by the Hand, an ancient mystical cult. But there was a catch. The Hand's influence corrupted him. Blindspot wasn't just a hero anymore. He was angry, vengeful, and willing to cross lines he never would have before. So when Muse unveiled his latest work, Blindspot defaced it, not because he hated it, but to lure Muse into a final confrontation. And it worked. Muse, furious that someone was ruining his masterpieces, went straight for Blindspot. Their battle was intense, but this time Muse wasn't fighting a naive young hero. He was fighting someone who wanted revenge. Blindspot beat Muse to a bloody pulp, pushing him to the brink of death. But then, he stopped. Just as he was about to kill Muse, Blindspot rejected the darkness inside him. He refused to become a murderer. But Muse, oh, he wanted the dramatic ending. He wanted Blindspot to complete the final act of his story. So when Blindspot let him go, Muse did something truly insane. He ran straight into a fire and let himself burn to death. Muse was more than just a serial killer. He was a terrifying force of chaos. He didn't kill for revenge, for money, or even for power. He killed because he truly believed he was creating something beautiful. And that's what made him so terrifying. Even after his death, his legacy lingers. His works, his murals, his sculptures left scars on the city and on the heroes who fought him. Muse was a villain who lived for the art, and in the end, he died for it too.